Pass the Poutine. Pass the Poutine.
Fries, cheese curds, and chicken gravy.
Pass the Poutine.
Hi, and welcome to Pass the Poutine. We're available on Spotify and iTunes. And today we're doing an episode on Asian men on dating apps.
Thank you, Josh, for that intro. You'll be hearing a little more about him later on in the episode. So it's your host, Nina, and this episode will be about male online dating profiles. We are going to be trying to figure out the ideal dating profile for an Asian male. It's not so much Asian male specific. I think men from every single race or ethnicity could take this advice and it would benefit them. The reason I came up with this idea was because OkCupid actually released some stats from their online dating analytics a couple of years ago that yielded some shocking results. When straight people were asked which ethnicity they preferred, Asian women ranked number one, whereas Asian men were ranked the least desirable. Fume Abe, New York-based comedian, has a little bit on Asian men and non-Asian women. Here it is.
I don't know if you guys have been out to the Midwest, but we don't have a lot of minorities out there, so I remember growing up, I would have like really weird conversations with my classmates. Like one time I asked this girl out, and she was like, hey, listen, don't take this personally, but I'm just not that into Asian guys. And I was sitting there like, dude, Megan, like I am the only Asian guy you know. Like this is extremely personal.
I really love his comedy. He's hilarious. Check out Asian Not Asian if you haven't already. They are a great podcast duo. So now this episode is going to be about curating the perfect online dating profile according to some Asian women. Of course, this isn't science. Take it with it what you will. I just thought the answers were interesting. And these are the women I talked to.
I'm an Asian woman in my mid-20s.
Asian woman in my 20s.
Asian female, age 20.
Asian woman in my early 20s.
Asian woman in my late 20s.
I'm an Asian woman in my late 20s.
Most of the women that responded were Asian Canadian women, and we also got some Asian Germans in the mix as well. Do you use online dating apps?
I used it once.
I did. I have before.
How do you feel about online dating?
I first heard about it, I was like, I don't think I'm the type to do this kind of thing.
It was pretty fun in the beginning. Kind of felt like I was shopping for guys.
I think it's just a good tool for the busy schedules and everyone is online.
Which apps do you use?
I used Bumble.
Coffee Meets Bagel. Coffee Meets Bagel. Because I heard that there were a lot of Asian guys there.
Tinder.
Tanta.
What should he say in his bio?
Their hobbies and interests.
I really liked it when the guy had really funny
in their dating profile or something witty.
Showed their personality.
Person's character showed through their bio.
So I once helped my friend and I told him to say, oh, I'm the type of guy that will take your family out to dim sum and fight for the bill. Like I told a guy to say that before.
Plays these video games, loves the outdoors. Like simple, but still detailed.
That maybe it stated your job, your interests, or even maybe a very catchy, interesting quote.
Should a guy add his height?
Yes.
Definitely. If you don't add his height, something seems sketchy about it.
I think for a lot of girls, they do prefer having the height added to the bio.
I think it's a big turn off when the guy lies about their height and then you meet them in person and they're a lot shorter.
Well, I guess because if you go on an online dating app, you want to meet up in person eventually, right? So you want to know if they're being truthful or not.
It seems like every single woman I asked unanimously said that guys should put their height on their profile. So if you're making a profile, add your height. Even if you aren't that tall, at least the women know. I know a girl who had a date and the guy lied about his height. When she met him in person, she's quite a tall girl herself, and he ended up being, 5'4" or shorter than that. And he said he was like 5'7", 5'8". And what happened after was she literally booked it. She said she was going to the bathroom and she never came back. So if there are going to be any surprises on a first date, they should be good surprises. And if a girl's not going to be into you because of your height, it's kind of a good filter to have anyway. What are some instant turn-ons?
Decent picture.
I don't know, like a stable job or something. Like if they say they're a lawyer, I'll be like, okay, we're a shot if they're a lawyer.
A dog or like some kind of animal, maybe some fishes. Or I know this guy with a hedgehog.
Being funny was a big thing, so if they did funny poses or if their description of themselves had a lot of personality,
who likes the outdoors. They could honestly mention that they're caring or something. It would probably make a difference.
Interpersonal traits are really important, and women really like that. So if you are caring, mention that. If you're nurturing, things like that. I think that's part of the reason why women like guys that post photos with animals too. It shows that they can take care of something. Now, what are some instant turn-offs?
Smoking cigarettes.
I don't like guys that had too many like naked photos
Or shirtless pictures, like I don't think that's necessary.
Topless mirror pics. Oh, like arrogance, conceitedness.
Pictures where you can't even see the face, but just the body.
FWB only.
Instant turn off?
Yeah, instant turn.
How many photos should he have?
At least 3?
3.
Maybe like 4.
Maybe like 5?
I like it when they have a lot of pictures. Like if it's only 1 or 2 pictures, I don't really trust that person. I don't know.
What kind of photos?
It can't be a side profile. So maybe like a whole body shot.
A plus if you can show off your interests or your hobbies through your photos.
That's something that was a big turn on, I think. If the guy shows that they cook a lot.
Yeah, maybe one that actually describes something that's in their bio. Like, if it was outgoing, like a picture of them hiking or cooking. Nothing that like covers their face, you know? I feel like a lot of Asian guys like take pictures with their phone literally in the face. So you don't even know what they look like.
It seems like a lot of girls just kind of want to find a normal guy on a dating app. You can write funny things, interesting quotes, and stuff like that, but we just want to see your personality. And a lot of us are pretty normal, so you kind of like guys that do normal things. Here's an excerpt on David So's Genius Brain podcast where his guest Joe talks about what he put on his online dating profile.
I was like, no wonder I wasn't getting any hits. So I had to change it to some like boring ass shit. Like, hey, I like to travel, I like to eat, you know, or like some normal ass shit. And I started getting fucking likes after that, dude.
One of my coworker, who's a guy, he said that after he put a photo of himself cooking, a lot of the girls liked him a lot more. So that was probably what girls look for in a guy as well, I guess.
If you don't know how to cook, I might suggest learning how to cook now. Okay, so now he passes the first stage. He gets a match. Who should message who first?
I would never message a guy first. So he has to take the first move.
I think a lot of the girls wait for the guys to say something because it's kind of weird if the guy likes you and then the conversation opens up, but they don't really say anything.
I think the guy should maybe just hit up a message and be like, hey, just to show that they're interested.
How should he start the message off?
It's just a simple hello. It's just not trying too hard or not asking too much of a personal question. That was kind of creepy for me. So I had a guy that like started off the conversation being like, hello, beautiful, or something like that. And it's just like an instant turn off and I didn't even talk to him.
Maybe pick out something that intrigued them in the other person's bio.
The ones that caught my eye were jokes.
Maybe how was your weekend? How long have you been in the city? Just a normal question is totally fine to me as well.
For me personally, I really liked it when a guy sent a really funny GIF. So yeah, anything funny, jokes, things that can make the other person smile. Do you have any other general dating advice for any men that are trying out online dating?
Don't do vague profiles. Have a nice set of pictures.
Really investing time in the profile because I think you can still get to know nice people.
One of the girls we asked even made a boy's profile just to see what it was like on the other side.
I made a boy profile, like not to catfish girls at all. Like I just wanted to see what kind of people. Yeah, like I didn't talk to anyone. I swiped no on everyone. I just wanted to like see, you know.
You wanted to scope out your competition.
Yeah.
She basically said that it was really, really, really hard to get matches.
And it really was a dead sea. Like there was nothing.
Wait, but what kind of picture did you put as the Asian guy?
Just a regular Korean guy I found online. Like he wasn't ugly. You wouldn't walk by and be like, oh, he's so ugly. But you wouldn't walk by and be like, oh, he's so good looking. Like you wouldn't.
He's like a wallflower.
Yeah, just a wallflower.
And she said she was swiping right to everyone to almost no avail. And she came to this conclusion. So be attractive.
Yeah, but if you can't help that, then I would suggest actually just meeting people on like Reddit threads or forums where your interests lie.
Now that we have heard from Asian women and their thoughts on dating apps, let's hear what Asian men have to say. I have Gavin and Jack from DIU, Daily Issues Uncovered podcast. Check them out on Spotify. Gavin is a really good friend of mine. And we also have Josh, who provides a lot of insight and interesting stories from his experience online dating.
I am a Canadian, Chinese, male, age 28 and...
My name's Joshua Frost and I'm a British Singaporean male and I'm age 26, currently living in Singapore.
Do you use online dating apps?
I used to use online dating apps.
And it's just been a lot of on and off usage.
Which ones did you use?
I used Bumble, Tinder, OkCupid, Tantan.
I used OkCupid, Bumble, Tinder, Coffee Meets Bagel.
Which one have you had the most success on?
Throughout my history with dating apps, I would say Tantan.
I'd say OkCupid has been more successful, but only by like a small margin, mainly because I'm able to express more of myself.
How has your online dating profile evolved throughout the years?
I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really put a description. As I got older, I put a description, my hobbies and some good looking pictures of myself.
My profile now is more humor orientated than when I was younger, and I used to have a list of things I wanted in a woman. And they'd be like confidence and like intelligence, and I think through life, when you do have relationships and you do meet the people, and I found humor and the ability to be happy during sad times, and also I don't want to say commitment, but the ability to hold out and have resilience through things. I found these traits way more important than say things like confidence or like intelligence. Used to be serious about it, now I'm just trying to make jokes all the time because that's the kind of person I'm looking for.
Are there any tips or tricks with online dating that you have found to work?
Make yourself a well-rounded person on your profile, and that will help you with more success. It will expand your reaches with women because some women likes hiking, some likes to watch movies, some likes Netflix and chill. It just expands your horizon.
There's no better advice than be yourself. Yes, you won't get everybody who likes you, but the people that like you are liking you for you. So being yourself just saves you a lot of time. If you're trying to appeal to everybody, the people that you meet, you'll feel don't really connect with you, and unless you're trying to just get laid, that's a bad thing.
Is there a particular ethnicity of women you look for when using dating apps?
When I was younger, I really wanted a white girl. And as I got older, I'm looking for a marriage partner. It's Chinese, I would say.
If I was to like play something on The Sims, if I was to make someone, I'd probably choose someone who's the same, like Western and Eastern mix. So they could be anything so I'm British Singaporean, right? So they could be like, I don't know, like German Thai or like Irish Arabic. The only reason why I'm choosing these mixed cultures is more for the culture itself, rather than the looks, because I feel it's very important that I get along with someone who kind of understands where if you grow up in two cultures all the time as a kid, that you truly never fit into one of them.
OkCupid released some analytics from their websites, and that said Asian men are seen as the least desirable compared to their female counterparts. How does that make you feel? Have you found that to be true?
That is 100% true. It's same with Tinder as well. When I was younger, I did some research on online dating, and Asian males actually are least desirable in any dating app, except for Tantan, because Tantan is Asian-dominated dating app. I don't feel anything. I just accept that fact we're the least desirable.
Do you think you're the least desirable?
No, but there's nothing to feel. It's statistics, man. No white girls want to swipe right on me. No black girls want to swipe right on me. No Latino girls want to swipe right on me. Because I already knew the stats going into it, because I'm really like analytical guy. So I do my research before jumping into it.
It makes me really sad to hear things like this when Asian guys go into online dating apps and kind of already know that they won't get as many matches just because of their race. Hopefully, with the increased representation of Asian men in media, this will change.
I've always felt shitty using online dating apps. Meeting people is way better. You save more time. People are so much more attractive in person. Unless you want girls that prioritize skin color or race. If you want a girl like that, then go ahead and be upset. If you don't want a girl like that, then you should be happy because they're going for other people. They'll filter themselves out for you.
How have your first dates been? Any interesting stories?
My first dates, I guess, has been well, except I would say most of the time the girl doesn't really match their picture.
Any interesting stories about that? Pictures not matching?
I can't say they're like hideous or anything, but interesting stories, I would say there's not really an interesting story. Like I picked up the girl, drove her for lunch, we had a good lunch, and then we never talked again.
I think first dates are honestly just been a mixed bag. Sometimes it's hard for them to hold a conversation. Some of them are really shy in person. Sometimes they just keep laughing and like touching, but they don't really talk about their personal things. Sometimes they're too personal and they talk too serious, but there's no humor. Sometimes it becomes like an interview or like a lecture, like both sides. The funniest one I'd say is I had this date, and the next day I like for some reason didn't sleep the whole time. At this point I was up for like 22 hours or 26 hours, something like that. And so I meet this girl at this bar, and this bar is like a dim lit place, which is like my room. I'm starting to feel a bit sleepy, and we talked, and like after a few drinks she started crying about her recent pet passed away, and I was so tired so I couldn't bring myself to listen. So she was here like crying, like bawling her eyes out, and I'm just there like trying to stay awake, and I was just like, hey, I'm so sorry, I haven't slept the whole time, and I know you're crying, and I wish I was like more alert to like care. I'm just so sleepy, and let's like meet another time. We didn't meet another time. I felt like we wouldn't have vibed anyway, but I'd say definitely that one was pretty like my fault, but pretty funny.
This is not the first date story a guy has told me when a girl has cried the first time she's met a guy. I know this is a episode on the ideal dating profile for men, but women that are listening, please do not cry on your first dates with men. Like, it's just don't do it. Maybe save it for like the second or third, fourth, fifth, sixth, maybe even 10th date. I don't know. Just meeting strangers and crying to them makes everyone really uncomfortable.
Overall, how has online dating been for you?
I personally like to meet people face to face. It's more of my style. Very outgoing person. I like to talk to people. Online dating app is harder for me because I'm not a really good texter. I don't have a really good texting game to get the girls interested. That's why I like to talk to people in real life. But it's hard these days as we get a full-time job and we don't have the opportunity to go as much, or we don't meet people from school. Online dating apps works well with people with a good texting game, I would say.
I definitely agree with what Jack has said here. I think online dating is great for people that are really good at texting. Unless you're someone that's down with meeting a person right away, and if you're a guy, you're probably listening to this, most girls don't want to meet right away. I would say learn how to text better.
Has your texting game gotten better since you've began or since you've used online dating?
I wouldn't say so. I just try to be more of how I would react in real life, but it's harder because I'm a very emotional guy. I show my emotions, but like through text it's hard. Even with emoticons, I can't show how I'm really feeling, or am I laughing, or angry, I'm sad. Like, it can't really show that over text, so it's really hard for me to improve that texting game. It's more just like me trying to text what I would say.
There's a lot of ghosting. You'll feel really bad. It's superficial, and you can't really blame anybody because everyone is going to be like that on there. You're going to have to put the effort to take nice pictures. You're going to have to put the effort to be able to have a conversation, or like figure out the person you're speaking to, and knowing how to get a grip of like how fast do you ask the person out, because you can't just keep texting. It doesn't work.
Do you think online dating has a stigma among like Asian people?
I would say yes. Because I know that some people are in the beginning were very shy to talk about like I met them with this app or with this app. Like, my parents have accepted it. Like, my dad knows about this and I've talked to him about it. He's fine with it. So he's more open-minded than me, I guess. And I have seen people getting married after meeting through a dating app. So there is success there. Don't get me wrong.
Is there anything you would recommend to your Asian male friends to help them with their online dating game?
I would say, just like I said earlier, make yourself a well-rounded person. Like, have more interests, have more hobbies, you know, try to go out there more, like traveling. A lot of girls, like guys, are well-traveled, like me, myself, and I.
I think thinking about race only succumbs you to a confirmation or a victim bias where you think, you're not doing something because of something you can't control, and you limit yourself, and you have these negative beliefs because you feel, and honestly, you can't do anything, because you can't change your race. So yeah, don't ever think, it's a race thing. If it's a race thing, then great that the women who do prioritize something you can't control are gone because they're not choosing you, so you filtered that for yourself. I would also say never have dating apps as your primary way of meeting people. If you have that, you'll feel exhausted, you'll feel like you'll question your self-worth because of so many people ghosting, and you'll probably find yourself doing it too. I definitely think always prioritize meeting people in person. Where you can, go to as many events as you want, meet your friends of your friends, just get out there and never have these dating apps as your primary way of meeting people.
So what I've learned from this episode from both perspectives is that men should try to be themselves and showcase as much of that as possible on their profile. Dating profiles are two-dimensional, so you want to try to be as three-dimensional as possible. Women seem to like men that appear to be funny, nurturing, caring, and good at cooking. Pictures of yourself cooking, hiking, and things like that will help the girl get a better sense of who you are in real life. If you play video games, go write those down. Studies have shown that people with longer bios on dating apps were better at finding matches than those with shorter profiles. So put yourself out there. Lastly, don't limit your chances to only online dating. I mean, we would all prefer to meet someone in real life, right? As there's a lot more chemistry and attraction that can happen in comparison to a keyboard and a screen. And last but not least, work on yourself and your self-confidence. People can tell when someone's confident or not. And confidence is a huge turn on for most people. This isn't just for men, but this goes for women as well. So I would say just work on yourself, work on your self-esteem, your confidence, find what you like, and for sure that will attract more people. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. This was a little bit different from my other one, but I thought I would just kind of tackle online dating since it's kind of a hot topic now, and it's kind of the way to date and to get insight from both sides. All right, everyone, it is Nina, your host of Pass the Poutine podcast. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Pass the Poutine. Poutine.